Capitalist Death Parade! Capitalist Death Parade! Capitalist Death Parade! Hey, welcome to the Capitalist Death Parade with your host, Joy Marie Mann and Josh Radio Hedge, a podcast where we discuss the dystopian hellscape of capitalism that we call home. What up, everybody? It's Josh Radio Hedge.
And Joy Marie Mann. Holly!
Holla at your boys.
Yes, it has been forever. But the good news is, I am back because I am fully published with my book, Our Friend Temujin, The Wrongful Conviction of Temujin Kenzu. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, on Amazon and Kindle. Yay! So I'm so proud of this fucking book. And the more people who know his story, the bigger chance we have at getting him out of prison almost 40 years later. So yes, please pick up your copy. I'm so proud of this. Just got published like 2 days ago. So yes, I am back and I am so fucking hyped to share this book. I cannot wait for people to read it.
Hey, Joy, does it still have the new book smell, that new print smell?
It kind of does.
You know, book readers love
I'm going to lick it. No, you know what? Oh, this is my kink. No, it's got the new book, like, when you, like, open it, you have to like press down, you know what I mean, because it's like it doesn't open all the way yet. That's what she said. You gotta like press it down and be like, yeah baby, this is my book. Yes. My mom, unfortunately, some of you know, she's been in the hospital for about 3 months now. And it's funny because every time I go to visit her every day, and nurses and doctors are always calling me, and I'm always going in to see her. And every fucking time, it doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter if I've never seen them. Your mom told me about your book. Oh my God, congratulations. Yeah, so like all the nurses, doctors, even like cooking, like whoever works there, they're like, hi, congrats on your book. I'm like, oh, my mom's so proud.
That is so sweet. Congrats.
It is.
All right. Can I tell a quick story about our
story? I might have PTSD from last night. It was really bad.
Well, wait till you hear my version of it because it's fun. So anyways, last night we had some insane technical difficulties. Basically every technical difficulty that you could have on both ends. My computer blue screened, her cam quit. She switched to her phone, but that didn't work. She switched to her iPad, but that didn't have the functionality. So we ended up having to cancel the show. But like right after we canceled the show, not seconds after, me and Joy are chatting and I'm talking to her on the iPad through the iPad camera. And so everything I see is from iPad camera view, right? So at some point while we're talking, Joy slips, drops the iPad, and suddenly I am like tumbling head like over feet. And I'm seeing me tumbling, or it's from my point of view. So it's me tumbling. I see a red Solo cup, and then it flips, and I see Joy's face, and she's like, ah! And then it flips again, and I see the red Solo cup, and then it flips again, and it's Joy, and she's like, ah! And
you saw that?
And then I nail the red Solo cup and fling stuff everywhere, and then it flips one more time, and I see your face, and you're like, ah! And then Joy's like, I gotta go.
I didn't even know you were still on. I didn't know you saw that. I was like, no. Yeah, I spilled it on my phone, my iPad. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't happening. Please don't let this happen. Because it was after we tried for tech issues for over a fucking half hour. And then it's like, oh, hey, let me just spill shit all over my phone and my iPad too.
I just wish we'd recorded it because it was beautiful content. The look on your face.
Oh my God, I can imagine. It was probably like up my nose and all kinds of stuff.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. So.
Oh my God. Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't know you saw that.
Yeah, I
But
definitely
what
got a
a bummer
special.
it's not on camera.
Well, it was a special moment when you get to experience like a first-person view of a camera hurtling towards a red Solo cup. It was pretty exciting. I enjoyed it.
And I was just like, no, no, this isn't happening. No, 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 no. Like begging the atmosphere.
Yep, yep.
Ah, Dios mío. Well, you guys, it has been a minute and there is so much to talk about.
Yes,
So
indeed.
let's freaking get started. Um, Josh, what do we have first?
So I threw up your first thing that you sent about Israel, and I sent it to you there. You can pop it up. But basically, Mint Press News made a posting about Israel has planned a false flag attack on U.S. soil, and then I've got an article to go with that. Let me pull that up for you real quick.
People are not talking about this.
Of course they aren't.
But I mean, even people who are pro Palestine, people are not talking about this.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a look here. So this is from the Tehran Times. It says Israel planned false flag operation on U.S. soil. The plan of orchestrating a destructive attack in the U.S., fabricating it, manipulating American public opinion, and prompting terror action. And the by
Gosh, your mic sucks ass.
oh no!
You're gonna have to bounce and come back in.
Okay, keep talking. Let me jump out, and I'll come.
You guys, I'm sorry. This shit's cursed. I don't know what the fuck. Like it's like everything's just like cursed. Josh, you got to drop and come back in. I think he's frozen. Yes, he is frozen. Ay, Dios mío. Okay, there he goes. Yeah, so I haven't seen people talk about this shit at all. And like, you know, it reminds me back to when Bibi was like, you know, 9/11 was great for Israel because, you know, everyone started hating Muslims and it was amazing for them, which is why there's, you know, well, call it a conspiracy theory. I call it interesting. But yeah, so apparently there's, you know, there are posts, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get them on screen because of this shit, but so if you've been on Twitter at all lately, you can see that there have been posts like every day from Zionists who say, everybody evacuate New York City now. And people saying, you know, all we need to do is do another 9/11 and things like that. And you know, the fact that Israel, the terrorist state of Israel, is, you know, trying to plan a false flag attack so that we go after Iran. This, you know, this shit still doesn't turn Zios against, you know, the terrorist state of Israel because they're still, this is anti Semitic. Well, the fact of the matter is, we have given them billions of dollars and billions in weapons, and they are still planning false flag attack on our land and our people. Think about that. Think about
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, they literally said Biden was the best thing that could have ever happened to them.
Yeah.
And now they have Trump. So we are giving them everything. We absolutely suck their dick all the time, and they still want to hurt us. So,
And I want to chime in on this. So you might hear what she's saying, and you might think, "Oh, come on, a false flag attack. This all sounds like conspiracy theory." Look up the USS Liberty. This has
yes,
already happened.
exactly.
Israel attacked an American ship, murdered
Yep.
30 like U.S. soldiers, and injured like another 90 in an attempt to try to draw us into a live fire event with Syria. And we caught Israel doing it. We knew and knew that Israel did this, and yet we never did anything to punish them, even though, again, they harmed the lives of 30 U.S. service members. I mean, so it's not a conspiracy. They've already done it. So, you don't have to look far on this conspiracy line chart. That's a straight line.
Nope. Do you want to show? I'm not sure what this is. This, you don't have to show that thing you pulled up. Where's the article I just gave you from the Tehran Times?
Yes, I have it.
So I've seen a few articles, but this one is from Tehran, which is the capital of Iran. And you might say, well, this is, it would be against them. So of course they're going to say that it was a false flag attempt. But listen to why they say they know.
Oh, that's a different one, but I'll read it real fast. So what it says is that Iran uncovered this Israeli plot through information shared by another friendly nation. And then upon learning of the potential attack, Iran contacted U.S. officials to stop the attack. So not only does U.S. know about this attempted false flag because we contacted them to stop it, but that means they know who was intending to do it, which is Israel. So it's pretty clear that that Israel ain't quite our ally. I mean, if it wasn't obvious to everyone, but some people,
they have impunity. They've always had impunity, and they always will have impunity. I mean, it's disgusting, but anyone who has hope at this point is delusional. I mean, we are little Israel. That's who we are. Do you have the article?
Yeah, I have it. Do you want me to pull it up?
Yeah.
Because that was the whole article. That was okay. I'll pull it up. Give me a second. Let's pull that up. So here is that again article from Tehran Times. And
can you read some of it?
Well, I did. I read the whole thing already. It's a short article. It didn't give a ton of.
Okay. Well, that's when you were cutting out then.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so basically it's just stating that they figured out that there was a plan orchestrating a destructive event within America, fabricating evidence to implicate Iran. And again, Iran uncovered us through a friend between Iran and U.S. They passed this info along to the U.S. The U.S. is able to prevent the potential attack. So there's that. Very, very interesting stuff.
There's a more in-depth article on Truthout and some other places. But again, even, our pro-Palestine comrades aren't really talking about this. And I included, I sent you some of the tweets that Zios were posting on Twitter. Do you have those?
Yeah, let me see if I can locate that one. Yes, I have that. Just a moment.
And these are just a few. I mean, they are... but it's not hate speech. You're anti-Semitic. Fuck you.
Yep. So I don't even know if I can read some of this, but I'm going to try.
Can you click on each one?
I don't think it allows me to. Oh, does it allow me to click? Oh, it does.
That's what I did.
I thought it was all amalgam little thing. Okay. So here's some of the translated from Hebrew posts on X from some interesting Israelis. If Israel theoretically decides to attack America, what should be the opening? The White House, Silicon Valley, interesting bases. So opening, they're talking about attack. And if you're going to attack a nuclear power nation and you're talking about attacking the Capitol, I assume that means you're talking about, well, let's read on. The next person translates to, in worst case scenario, we can blankety blank Trump. Just think of the things they drop on Gaza all day. I'm trying to not get us canned.
So they want to attack the people who are giving them the money and I get it. Okay.
Well, this next one really got me. This one translates one symbolic bomb in Washington. will remind Trump he is not omnipotent and will restore our national honor. So, yeah, so they're saying if Israel nukes DC, it will restore Israel's honor? What kind of mind fuckery are these people going through? Like, you set off a nuke and you might as well have just like kissed all life on earth goodbye. You pull that shit.
I just want to know what honor they think they're going to restore.
What honor is there in nuking the people that are your allies that gave you every goddamn weapon? I don't understand the honor part.
Okay, look, this is probably gonna get my channel taken down. It's probably, I don't know. I shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it because that's what I'm thinking. You know, if something did happen to us, look, you do it to yourself, you do, and that's why it really hurts. You do it to yourself, it's true. To you and no one else, you do it to yourself.
I mean, honestly, it's about who you get into bed with, you know, and these people are not allies. They're not acting like allies.
The company you keep, dude.
Yeah.
We're bedfellows with them. They literally hate everyone. You think they don't hate us?
No kidding. No kidding. That's wild.
What's this one say?
One more. Let me read this last one. If we decide to blank America, if we suddenly decide to drop 400 to 500 atomic blanks on them at once, it could be that we'll rule the world. Wow. Wow. It could be that we'll reach our destiny, that will be a light unto the nations, that women will dance in the vineyards. You mean the ones you nuked? They'll break into dances. We'll build the temple. We'll offer sacrifices. They mean, of course, Goyim. And maybe that's how it should be. God damn.
Can we just all agree that supremacy of any kind is abhorrent? It's disgusting, whether it's white supremacy, Jewish supremacy. It's gross. Christian supremacy. It's gross. And the chosen people and wanting a state all to yourselves, that is supremacy. That is disgusting.
Man, that's wild stuff. Thanks for sharing that, but damn.
And these are just a few. Like, I've seen threads. And by the way, none of these posts got taken down, just so you know. Not that you thought
that's what I'm saying. Censorship is only for people that are pro-Palestine. If you are pro-genocide, there's no need to censor you, as long as you're pro-genocide for the correct minority.
Yes.
It's really disturbing. I do it on Facebook all the time. I'll see somebody make a straight up like Nazi pro-mass genocide comment. And I will be like, hey, Facebook, this is threatening mass violence. Okay. This is against your terms and conditions. Facebook will be like, it's fine. But hey, you said somebody the other day had a fat mouth, and that's body shaming. So we're going to ban you for 30 days.
Did you guys see how Democrats are like their racism is full on blast?
It's sick.
Full on blast.
Sick.
It's amazing. They are showing themselves, oh my God, between ICE, between New York City, between the terrorist state of Israel. Holy fuck, their racism is just on full blast. And it's like, we fucking told you so. Stop complaining, because you know you're just going to roll the fuck over and vote for these motherfuckers again anyway. So shut the fuck up, because they're still not Trump.
Yep.
What else do we have?
All right, let's see here. Let me see what is up next.
Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe.
Indeed. if you like what you're hearing, spread the word. We're just trying to get the word out on news that we feel is not, I guess, getting enough attention. And it's important, I think, for us to all discuss this shit. I had my little therapy session this morning with my counselor, and man, I tore his ear off, and I feel bad. But it's just like I've got a lot. I got a lot that I'm dealing with these last so many days. Like,
Well,
whoa.
when I was going to my doctor to get like, this used to be something I'm quiet about, but look, I have a semicolon tattoo. Oh well. Like my anxiety meds and stuff like that. My doctor that I go to, I was like, dude, like the genocide has me so fucked up.
Yeah.
In addition to everything else I'm going through, I'm like, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know, like, as a human being, how to navigate this, how to not stop fighting for these people, but also how to not just want to cry in the fetal position every single video I see. And he said, Joy, I'm going to tell you something. I have never seen more patients that I have in the last year. He said, the amount of patients I have been getting, and they all say the same thing. So, depression, anxiety, self harm, all of these things are on a high. And a lot of it is because of what they're doing to Palestine. This is
Yep.
huge because it
Yep.
is taking a mental toll. And I watched this guy, and he was in a Muslim gentleman. I'm not sure where he was from. He had an accent, he sounded British. And he did this video where he was talking about the trauma and the PTSD, not just of the people there, like the people in Gaza and the people experiencing this, but the PTSD and trauma of those of us who are witnessing it every day. And I
Yeah.
thought, well, I never really thought of that, but it is traumatic. I mean,
Yes.
anyone who watches that shit is fucking traumatized. But at the
Yes.
same time, if we're not traumatized, we're desensitized, and that is worse.
Agreed. No, I gotta say it's been wild realizing that this has damaged everyone. Like I think people need to understand that this is the cost of supremacy, even when you're on top. Even if you are in Israel right now and you are like, F Gaza, F the Palestinians, this is our land, whatever, this is all coming back on you. You are bringing suffering untold upon yourself, the people that you care about. I mean, my God, you don't understand, like you, and maybe you don't realize it yet, or maybe you do. Like you showed me that one video of the lady that made fun of Palestinians, and then lo and behold, she got to the taste of actually being a bombing victim.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
sick stuff.
And they wonder why like so many people have been cheering on Iran. And it's because they're in the most gentle of terms, they are the bully. They are picking on people who have no army, no food, no water, no housing, no hospital, no places of worship, no school, no electricity. These people have nothing. They don't even have fucking shoes on their feet. And you have all the money, all the weapons, the huge fucking army, and you have all this shit, and you're preying on these people. You don't have balls. You are weak little bitches. That's what the fuck you are. And millions of people fucking see that. Unfortunately, it's not enough. And those who do see it and are silent are worse than the people who disagree. I'd rather talk to a Zionist than talk to someone who's going to be like, yeah, I know it's so bad, and then keep their fucking mouth shut. At least Zionists are fucking loud about their beliefs.
Yeah.
Just sitting there and saying nothing, disgusting. They're violence. Silence is violence. It's fucking true.
Well, it's if you benefit from colonialism and you say nothing, yeah, you're a colonialist. It's just how it is. It's like it's one of the things that I did so much struggling with personally is realizing that like my white privilege is real.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm concerned about so many people in this country possibly getting the boot or worse, having their citizenship revoked, being put in a death camp. I don't know, but my privilege is I know it isn't me, at least not yet. But right now, it's not me, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough accepting that like there are like that your whole life is built on the benefit taken from harming so many others.
And that's why it's our responsibility. Like when people do nothing and they're white, like infuriating.
I mean, you might as well have like face paint on and a big foam hand saying, I like this, more of this. Because if you say nothing, yet you're benefiting from it, you're supporting it. I mean,
Yep.
that's basic.
Yeah. What else do we have?
Well, the next one I have ready for you, pull it up. We'll jump on to this opioid madness. So this post states Zionist monsters and baby blankers poisoning bags of flour and baby formula with opioids and oxycodone. So let me pull up this next one here. This one's a tough one, man. Oh man.
So it's the U.S. Israel aid organization that over 100 aid places have demanded that they stop because they're literally fucking putting opioids in baby formula and shit. Like this isn't fucking made up. This shit is fucking happening.
Yeah. All right. So, Gaza Media Office on Friday condemned the discovery of oxycodone pills reportedly discovered in flour bags distributed by American Israeli aid centers. We have so far documented 4 testimonies from citizens who found these pills inside the flour bags, it said in a statement, warning of the possibility that some of these narcotic substances were deliberately ground or dissolved into the flour itself. I mean, do I need to go on? I can, but I mean, it's wow. The drug is highly addictive, can have life-threatening effects, including breathing complications, hallucinations. The media office's statements come after several social media posts shared images of the pills discovered in these flour bags in Gaza. Palestinian journalist Omar Hamad described the discovery of the pills as the most despicable form of genocide. Yeah. Khalil Mazan Ubanada, a Palestinian doctor in Gaza, also posted about the drug on Facebook, describing it as a means to obliterate our societal awareness. The Gaza government media office said it held Israel fully responsible for this heinous crime of spreading addiction and destroying the Palestinian social fabric from within. Office also. Go ahead.
Sorry. So there's like several so-called benefits to them doing this. Number one, you have the ability to be like, see, Palestinians are druggies. They don't even have food and they're there having opioids. Look at them. See what we found in Palestinians' property? See this? We found opioids. Do you see what trash they are? So there's that. There's also the fact that they have no food and no water, and now they're ingesting opioids, and it will likely unalive them or make them very, very sick. And then there's also the fact that it will make them addicted, and they have no way to get more. So there are many elements of why this is a great fucking idea for these fucking psychopaths.
I just want to point out that this is the kind of stuff that if you had read while you were doing your world history and you'd read that like Hitler or somebody had done something like this atrocious, you'd be like, wow, that's horrible. But I can see it because he's that evil. And then you realize, no, Hitler didn't do this. This is Israel's doing. I mean, I didn't pull the article up, unfortunately, but I was reading an article today. That same group, GHF, the what do they call it? The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. In an article from a day or so ago, one of the employees said that the security teams that GHF is employing are using live ammunition. So
Yes.
this is supposed to be a nonprofit humanitarian, it's in the name, humanitarian organization, and they literally are hiring dudes with guns with live ammunition, and they're firing this ammunition at the Palestinian people seeking aid.
Right, but let's not forget it is a US backed organization. Everybody
Yeah.
needs to remember that. Our name is on this organization.
Yes.
Of course. I know it's
Oh
shocking,
man.
but
Yeah. So yeah, super evil. Like evil on special new levels that make you wish that superheroes were real, because that's what every superhero story was to me. Guy does ultimate evil, superhero shows up, biff pow. Hey, we don't do that, I guess. I guess we just let the evil roll on.
and we'll all roll on. That's our song tonight.
All right. You mean float on,
Yeah,
but roll.
but I just
Why not?
changed it so it went.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I pulled up while we're in this topic. This is from Hans Zimmer. He's an Oscar award winning composer. And he posted this. He says, Palestine is the story. Not, and he's talking about Glastonbury because Glastonbury is happening right now. But he says
Yeah.
Palestine is the story, not Glastonbury. Mass starvation is the story, not Glastonbury. IOF members admitting to intentionally shooting civilians that pose no risk seeking aid is the story, not Glastonbury. Addictive opioids in bags of flour to a starved population is the story, not Glastonbury. Genocide is the story, not Glastonbury. Palestine is the story, not Glastonbury. So I thought that was pretty epic, pretty
I
potent.
saw this when Kneecap happened a couple of weeks ago, and this came out, and I was like, it's so true.
Yeah, I just thought that was really powerful.
Absolutely. What else do we have?
All right. Oh, hey, I did pull that article up. I lied to you. That's funny. I just stuck it in the wrong spot. Not that it matters, but I'll pull it up just real fast, just so we can say we did. Here. But this is the U.S. contractors say their colleagues are firing live ammo as Palestinians seek food in Gaza. And this is from the AP, by the way. So, good luck claiming that it's not real, but whatever. American contractors guarding aid distribution sites in Gaza are using live ammunition and stun grenades as hungry Palestinians scramble for food, according to accounts and videos obtained by the Associated Press. Like, they literally create this caged in, I would say maybe the width of like 4 shoulder lengths apart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can show the video for a few seconds if you want to see it, but it's pretty horrendous.
Yeah, you can play it.
This is one of the videos, so that's at a different part in the checkpoints. This one shows you more like how tight it is. Maybe that's more like 5 people shoulder length, but still. And they're firing and throwing stun grenades into this. All these people waiting for food. Just out of this freaking world. Out of this freaking world. And again, this isn't the IDF.
There's children in there because their dads are no longer with them or they're too injured. And you can see thousands of pictures, probably more than that, all over Twitter and Instagram and everywhere else, where these little kids are fucking, and some don't even have legs, and they're fucking carrying these huge bags of rice with opioids in them. and they're like struggling to try and get them. Or like the one, oh my God, you see all these kids with pails of trying to get like a pail of water. And this kid, I swear she couldn't have been more than 1 or 1.5. It didn't even look like she could talk yet. And she had a fucking jug full of water and another jug full of water in each hand. And she was like weeble wobbling. I'm going to cry just thinking about it. It is the most psycho shit in the world to not just unalive people, but to starve them and torture them.
And then poison them after you starve them.
Yeah. Well, there last month there was, before the opioids, there was this thing where they were putting like rat poison in food. So they would like literally go up to people and be like, here's a sandwich, and the people would eat the sandwich, and after one bite they're done. They were teasing them. They're like, here's a hot meal, and then
that's so
goodbye.
Just
because of that enjoyment, just watching it happen.
How does anyone enjoy killing or harming someone? This is so wrong. It's wrong. How can anyone be okay with this? There's no enjoyment in harming human beings and unaliving someone. It's so evil.
Well, and the thing is, it's not like, we don't know it's happening. This isn't rumors. This isn't like skewed coverage. Literally hundreds of thousands of videos, if not millions at this point.
Some of them they posted themselves, like they're bragging.
Yes, they do. They just fucking posted the other day. These fuckers took a picture of them sitting on little kids' tricycles. Like, haha, like this, like we conquered 3 of these fuckers.
We conquered toddlers.
And then what the fuck's her name? Oh, I can't think of her name. Damn it. I can't think of her name. She's a damn nut job. Right-wing girl on Twitter. She has like awful takes a lot.
Laurel Loomer, or
no, it was the other one.
What's her name? I know exactly who you're talking about too.
I can't think of her name. But anyway,
she's the best. It's probably for the best.
Yeah, I see her fucking face. She takes the picture, right, of the IDF soldier sitting on these little trikes, and she posts, see, the IDF aren't scary, they're just, young people or something like that. I was like, this bitch is fucking nuts. Like, she literally doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. Like, she wasn't trying to be funny. Like, she is just stupid as fuck. Like, really fucking stupid.
Man, this is the golden age for people who are dumb and evil. This is just great. Oh, wow.
What else do we have?
So we got that post from Bob Vylan. We had actually had one of our commenters had mentioned him as well, from Holly. It was like 2 words, Bob Vylan. So let's pull up his post. Villain. I'm sorry.
He is like, all I'm going to say is swoon. I've listened to him for over a year. He's rad.
All right. He writes, silence is not an option. And this reads, not the first, not the last. Today, a good many people would have you believe a punk band is the #1 threat to world peace, right? Last week, it was a Palestine pressure group. The week before that, it was another band. We are not for the blank of Jews, Arabs, or any other race or group of people. We are for the dismantling of a violent military machine, a machine whose own soldiers were told to use unnecessary lethal force against innocent civilians waiting for aid, a machine that has destroyed much of Gaza. We, like those in the spotlight before us, are not the story. See, look, there it is again. We are a distraction from the story, and whatever sanctions we receive will be a distraction. The government doesn't want us to ask why they remain silent in the face of this atrocity, to ask why they aren't doing more to stop this harming, to feed the starving. The more time they talk about Bob Villain, the more time they spend answering for their criminal inaction. We are being targeted for speaking up. We are not the first. We will not be the last. And if you care for the sanctity of human life and freedom of speech, we urge you to speak up to free Palestine. Woot.
Love him.
Me
Absolutely
too.
fucking love him. And
Cheers.
we can't say the chant. I'm sure all of you know the chant. We can't say it because my channel will get taken down. But it's amazing to see the pearl clutching when the matter of fact is this simple. They're more offended by words than actions.
Yep.
Saying something about the IDF that the IDF has literally done, that should not supersede each other. That it's fucking mind-blowing. And you know what? I don't think I put this in here, but Harvard just did a study that says that an estimated 377,000 Palestinians are under the rubble. So let's take that, and then let's take the estimated almost 400,000 that have already been unalived. I absolutely, with every piece of my soul, believe it has been at least 1 million.
I hope you're wrong. I don't want that.
Because look, I mean, fucking look. Like, Palestine is 22 miles, 22 square miles. Look at the fucking aerial shots. It's nothing but rubble. It's nothing but rubble. And furthermore, let's say this shit stops today. It won't. Let's say it does. Now what? They still have no food, no water, no medical help, no clothing, no shelter. Now what? Now what?
Yeah.
Because, okay, the bombs aren't coming anymore. They're still not able to live.
Yeah.
This is not going to end well, period.
And even if Trump's claiming that he's going to like work some kind of a ceasefire, it doesn't matter because like literally, I think it was today or yesterday, the IDF bombed a house containing the head of a foreign hospital group.
Yeah.
Destroying him entirely and his family and kids. And again, this dude just ran a hospital in the middle of a war zone.
Like, ceasefire is something we used to ask for a year and a half ago when we actually thought we had hope of a ceasefire. And then we all learned who the terrorist state of Israel is and how they likely don't even know what those words mean, because look at Lebanon. Yeah. They don't obey anyone. Like, they're committing international war crimes every fucking day for years, way before now. It's not like they're going to follow any fucking agreement when they don't even follow fucking law.
Yeah, but look at the other side of it now, though. So they thought, hey, we are unstoppable, and if anybody tries to stop us, our big brother America is going to step in and put you down. Well, they tried it with about every country they could, and they got away with it. But then they hit Iran, and Iran was not having it. Speaking of that, pull up this next clip. So
you know what, though? Also, on that, like, do people really think that we would be helping to bomb Iran if we really thought they had nuclear weapons? Do people like really think that? Like, we really, really would be doing this if we thought they had them?
Yeah.
I'm just checking because I mean, talk amongst yourselves. I don't fucking know.
There's a reason they call it nuclear deterrence, right? But whatever. Oops.
think your mute's on or something.
My mute?
Yeah.
You couldn't hear that?
No.
Oh, weird. I heard it. Didn't we play a different video that had audio yet, or did we not?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
I don't know what happened with the girl that the before and after.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and it didn't really have any audio. It was just music. But yeah, the example, of course, being like, you think that you're going to make fun of people that you're literally celebrating their annihilation, and you make jokes about, oh, it's all made up. It's not made up. That's the craziest thing. It's like these people know it's not made up because they're cheering it on. How can it be made up and you're calling for it at the same time? I don't understand, man. And then she's like, oh my gosh, my house got hit with a missile. And it's like, well, yeah, because you guys launched missiles at Iran unprovoked. What did you think was going to happen? Do you not understand how military skirmishes work? If you bomb someone, they'll bomb you back if they have the ability. Your other people that you were messing with, they didn't have that. Iran does. So, I honestly was amazed that they have the nuts to do it. But then again, I was amazed that Iran had the nuts to respond, because I figured they were just going to take it. Like they took their head general being assassinated like it was nothing. They just like, oh. So,
what else do we have?
Let's see. Next up, we got another video here. Hopefully we have audio. Let's make sure. Give me a thumbs up if you hear it.
Holy, they're actually trying to deport this guy. And when I mean they, I mean both parties, Republicans and Democrats. Okay, so
there's no wait, hold on. Okay, try it again.
Okay, sure. What happened?
I don't know, but there's no video, so
I show video on mine. That's weird.
Well, it's not on this.
Okay, let me try again.
Hold.
Here, take it down and put it back up.
No worries. That's weird. It was showing on my end via the screen, but I didn't look on a different screen to make sure.
Try it. Take it down and put it back up. It's still there.
Oh, I did take it down. Okay, I'll do it again. Sorry. It said that I did.
Sorry, guys. Give me a moment.
Yeah, thank you guys for your awesome patience. Just a moment here. All right, it's being iffy. I might have to jump to the next video in the meanwhile.
Okay.
I don't know what its deal is right now.
It's
all right, ready when you are.
Israel.
When we are the ones doing all the killing, we are not the victims anymore. When we call anyone asking questions anti-Semitic, we are not the victims anymore. When we assume every Arab is a terrorist, we are not the victims anymore. When the most powerful country in...
I'm going to mute this because I'm worried about us getting a flag for the audio. But it says consistently with billions of weapons.
No, you can put it up. Trust me, I'll explain.
Okay, all right.
A crime. Full country in the world is arming us consistently with billions of dollars worth of ammunition and weapons. We are not the victims anymore. When we have made the truth a crime by mass targeting journalists, preventing outside access to anyone and everyone, controlling the narrative for both sides for decades, and have been caught lying over and over in doing so, we are not the victims anymore. When we think it's okay to forcefully take land, no matter the cost to those already living there, just because God supposedly said so. We are not Jewish anymore.
Ooh.
When we choose righteousness over humility, we are not human anymore. When we choose fear over love, we are not ourselves anymore. They make it so easy to forget who we are and where our responsibilities lie. Technology, comfort, and entertainment are our pacifiers. The price to stay in what they believe is their kingdom is for the most part paid by others. Our only price is our silence. We cannot allow that. We should not allow that, because if we do, we're next.
Well put.
Goosebumps queen. Yes.
Yep.
Fucking
Well put.
yes. So fucking good.
Yep. Well put. Well put.
Whew. Goosebumps.
Yep. You know, I wanted to just mention something real fast before we pull the next one up, because I was thinking of what you'd said earlier, how you'd seen videos that like every time you see them make you want to cry kind of thing. And it's like, I saw one today that I still can't believe I saw it. It was a kid with no limbs bouncing around on the nub of his ankle because that's all he has left to transport himself. And he was like hopping on that one nub because he had no other leg or arms. Like a child, like we're talking like 6 or 7, maybe. I mean, my goodness.
I saw a little boy like that. I'm sure it wasn't the same one.
I know.
And he was, someone had tried to make him a kite out of like scraps of like cloth and stuff and like wire. And he was trying to like fly the kite with like no arms and no legs. And it kept falling and falling. And it was just like, but as heartbreaking as it was, it reminds you of the Palestinian spirit, because you can look at 100 videos and I guarantee you at least a few of them have smiling kids in them, because these kids, holy shit, they will literally be in a line trying to get food and they will be playing games and singing and stuff. You can see these videos. I'm going to start bawling. You could see these videos everywhere. There's something so beautiful about the spirit of Palestinian children, that they just love each other and they're happy. Even, you know, there are moments of happiness for them, even within the darkest and most disgusting of times.
Yeah, I pulled up your Instagram one next. I don't know what this is, so watching it for the first time. Uh-oh. Try again.
Fellow Jews clutching their pearls about blood libel ever again. Because there is no libel to it anymore, is there? It's blood-soaked fact. If you're not familiar with what blood libel is, allow me, as a former, if you can believe it, anti-Semitism educator, yes, Jewish organizations used to pay me to talk to them about combating anti-Semitism. And I spent a lot of time teaching people what blood libel was. So here's what I say about it in my book, Genocide Bad. By the medieval period, the accusation that Jews kidnapped and used the blood of Christian babies specifically to make matzah for the Passover Seder was used to justify massacres of Jews and the theft of their property. Quick recap. There is zero credible historical evidence that any Jews ever did such a thing. The medieval Christian church made up stories like this to manufacture hate toward Jews, Romanis, Christian heretics, and indigenous European faiths alike as a divide and conquer tactic. This story effectively distracted peasants from realizing that church leaders were the ones who were stealing all their wealth and keeping them in poverty so the Pope could build giant gold cathedrals. This divide and conquer ruling strategy still works great for gold-loving property developers today. See Donald Trump. And later I go on, anti-Semitism educators, like I used to be, spend a lot of time online endlessly repeating that no, Jews don't and never did kidnap babies and kill them for use in religious rituals. The hateful allegation of blood libel is something our community has been fighting for over 1,000 years. But then along came the state of Israel, and they slapped a Star of David on their flag and claimed to speak for all Jews everywhere. They have made themselves synonymous with Judaism as far as Western governments and media are concerned. And you know what else they've done? They've routinely kidnapped, tortured, and massacred children throughout every year of their existence. And now this army of Jews from this country of Jews that stands for all Jews everywhere, according to their own propaganda, is starving thousands of babies to death. Babies should never be this tiny. Babies should never lose weight. They should only ever be gaining weight. It is the responsibility of all grown-ups in the world to ensure that all our babies are only ever getting fatter. And there is infant formula to feed all these babies. There are trucks and trucks full of infant formula waiting right outside the border of Gaza. But the Jewish army with the Jewish flag on their tanks and their trucks and their guns won't let that formula in. Take it from an anti-Semitism educator. The Jewish army is starving thousands of babies. And I would posit that this blood fact is actually so much worse than anything medieval Christians ever imagined about us and said about us to justify their massacres. Killing one baby once a year for a Passover Seder compared to mass starving thousands of babies so that they die an agonizingly slow, torturous death while their families have to watch. And then that's not all. That's not the end of the cruelty. Because these sick, demented fuckers have developed a food distribution system so that the fathers and brothers and uncles who've been watching their kids they love starve to death have to run across a Squid Game style killing field in order to try to score a bag of flour. And hundreds of Palestinian men have braved these killing fields and been mowed down by guns and snipers and tanks, just trying to get food to feed their starving families. And they've made the people so desperate that they're even starting to turn on each other and kill each other for food. Now, don't get it twisted. The fact that the self-proclaimed Jewish state is mass murdering babies now doesn't mean that the blood libel of medieval Christian Europe was true. Jews in Europe then were an oppressed, racialized minority suffering under incredible violence in a Christian supremacist system. And Zionists are Jews who took that experience as instructive.
Yeah.
And when they were given lots and lots of guns and money from the UK and the US to establish a colony in Palestine to prevent the emergence of a pan-Arab empire, they created a Jewish supremacist society, and they enacted a kind of violence on Palestinians who became the oppressed, racialized minority within their own homelands, and have far outstripped not only the violence that medieval Christians imagined of them, but the violence that medieval Christians did to them. And so the reason I'm not an anti-Semitism educator anymore is because I was in that line of work because I was against all hate and all genocide. And all of us that feel that way right now, Jews and Gentiles alike, should recognize that the number one thing we need to be doing right now is demanding that infant formula enter Gaza as a start to shutting down the Zionist project that has made Judaism synonymous with mass murder, so that the term blood libel has become, in the modern day, blood fact. All I see when I close my eyes are a year and a half of blood facts perpetrated by the state of Israel. Normally, I end my videos with a fundraiser, but no amount of fundraising is going to bring infant formula into Gaza. So my call to action instead is that you make a ruckus, make public speech, use whatever platform you have, get with other people and figure out how you can organize to amplify your voices as loud as possible to tell people that Gaza is in critical need of infant formula, that thousands of babies are being starved to death, and Israel must lift the siege and allow infant formula to enter Gaza now.
Man, that was an education in and of itself.
I love them so much. They do
Yeah.
incredible videos, but I've never seen them like curse and stuff like that. And you can tell they're just getting like they're beyond that point. But they're so intelligent and so educated.
Yeah.
And you know, they're an example of someone who could, you know, teach while also putting you in your place.
Because that's what they did. That was literally their job. They were like a teacher to teach people about anti-Semitism. And they believed in it because they believed, like they said, I believed in treating everybody right. You know, I didn't want anyone to be hated, or I was against all hate. You know,
I can't imagine what, and you know, I've had people from, you know, oh my God.
Uh-oh.
What, my brain.
I saw the road bump. I saw you hit
Youth
it.
for Peace. Not, oh my God, my brain.
Is the Jewish Voice for Peace?
Yes. I've had people from that group on, and they've said the same thing. You know, I can't imagine being a religion and growing up that religion, and you know, all my family is that religion, my friends are that religion, and then seeing my religion on a flag being used to disappear an entire people. I can't even imagine. I mean, that has, I just can't imagine. And my heart breaks for every single Jewish person that is hurting right now because of that feeling.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. Well, next up, it looks like we got some Sammy Obed. So this may be pretty funny, maybe. Fingers crossed. Maybe not. Let's see.
2003 has been an awesome year so far.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping it's
We're going to get
comedy.
those weapons of mass destruction. I promise you. We're going to get them. I'm just waiting for Colin Powell to pop out and be like, I love how you can see who's Gen Z in this room. Like, who's Colin Powell? Isn't that the lower part of the digestive system? What a time. A time when Tucker Carlson is the voice of reason. I could have told you that if you put Tucker Carlson in a room with Ted Cruz, you're going to be agreeing with Tucker Carlson. You know what I mean? Like, and Ted Cruz is like, no, I don't. Here's where I give flowers to Tucker Carlson. He's an expert at gaslighting. Any other journalist could have just let that go and be like, I don't know it either. You know what I mean? But Tucker Carlson was like, you don't know the population of the You would think if you want to talk about the country, you would know the population. You could see the stress building in Ted Cruz. He's like, I don't know what the population is. What is it? And Tucker Carlson's like, 92 million. Now, to be transparent, I didn't know their population was 92 million, but I'm also not trying to stage a coup, okay? Iran does not have nuclear weapons, because if they did, we would not be attacking them, okay? If they did, we'd be scared as shit right now. Iran has a nuclear program. Specifically, they're enriching uranium, which is an element on the periodic table, which most of our politicians also could not point out. I guarantee all of these politicians who are saying that Iran should not have uranium could not point uranium out on the periodic table. If you put Ted Cruz in front of the periodic table and you be like, point to which one is uranium, and then you have Tucker Carlson like, you don't know which one is uranium? And Ted Cruz is like, no, I don't know. And then Tucker Carlson's like, it's 92. Because it's 92! It's 92! It's 92! Is that not crazy? Iran has a population of 92 million. Uranium is the 92 on the periodic table. That's a conspiracy right there. 92. What happened in 92? Bill Clinton. I don't know. 1 + 1 is 2. 9/11. 9/11. What? I don't know. I'm just saying. Chemistry's an inside job. You really got to be in the lab all day.
Oh, Sammy.
Dude, he's a riot. He's a riot.
He's great.
Yes. Well, that was a good a palate cleanser. before we jump back in. Oh. Unless we want to jump to a different topic.
I don't know. I don't know what. I don't remember the stuff I've sent you. Let's go to the New York election.
The New York election. All right. Let me pull one of these up here because I know you sent me a couple on this.
Hi, baby. Hi. Hi. So
yeah, we mentioned it a little earlier on, but my goodness, the Islamophobia and all because a Muslim won mayoral race.
Well,
Didn't
not
even win.
just a Muslim, someone who's pro-Palestine.
Oh! You mean if they
Outwardly
had been like, "Oh,
pro-Palestine.
please nuke Gaza," then they would have been like, "We love you, new brown mayor." That's so fun. That's fun. Islamophobia is only weaponized when you're one of the problematic ones. Anyways, you got Adam posting here. New York is now likely location of Mossad and CIA's next false flag. I posted about that, like literally the day that Israel attacked Iran. I posted, okay, well, now I'm worried that Israel is going to attack America and say Iran did it by like attacking like a military base and being like,
yeah, I think all of us had that thought for sure.
That was my first thought. But yeah, Laura Loomer, absolute trash. There will be another 9/11 in NYC. Mamdani will be to blame. I have a Loomer post that we'll get to later. She's truly the worst. Truly. But you were right. It's also sadly the Democrats this time around.
I wouldn't say this time around. It's certainly not shocking.
So many Islamophobic people in the Democratic Party. It's not. It's very upsetting. It's not supposed to be like that.
Kirsten Gillibrand.
Where'd she go? There she is. You know, it's funny. I pulled it up here. This is from January. So this figure's actually out of date. She's now over 1 million.
Oh, I'm sure.
And the last figure I saw was like 998,000. And that was before she called Mamdani a jihadist or whatever she did. So right now she's well over, she's a Zio millionaire. So congrats to her. Anyways, the post here says, Kristen Gillibrand is a racist supremacist Zionist who is literally bought by the Israel lobby for almost $1 million. She should resign as a bare minimum. I agree. And I can't believe that she would say something that horrendous.
I can. I mean, I don't know why you're shocked by Dems. You're always shocked when Dems show their asses.
Because I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to at least have tact. Like, that's the thing. Look at Obama.
So she could be like,
he's the classiest warmonger you ever saw. He knows how to like balance his oratory skills with his I murder everyone skills. It's crazy, you know? So when somebody slips like this, it's like, nah, y'all are at least supposed to pretend to be tactful. And she's just like, you know, like you said, showing her whole ass.
Well, let's see. Let's put up the video so
which one?
People can, of her, so people actually know what she said.
It's a long one, but I can put it up. Give me a second. Hold on. Is it up there? Yeah.
No, I sent it to you, not the so-called apology video, the clip of her calling into the radio show.
Yeah, I have that up. Okay. Yeah, pull it up. It's up.
Hi. Good morning. Thank you for taking my call and question. I wanted to ask two very pertinent questions about the threats facing the Jewish community, unfortunately, from Zohran Mamdani. There was a bill that I was reading about that, unfortunately, he wants to target synagogues and Jewish institutions which donate to nonprofits, which are medical institutions like United Hatzalah and Magan David Adam, which is like the Jewish Red Cross. So how do we make sure that Jewish institutions are protected from his plans to punish and fine our institutions which fundraise these medical nonprofits, which do work both here in the United States and in Israel and other countries in the world? And also, How can we hold Mr. Mamdani accountable for his glorifying association of Hamas and other terror bombings of the Intifada in 1990s, where over 1,000 Jewish Israelis were killed, to his revisionist Holocaust knowledge, to the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, where Jews were mass exterminated and faced threats? He compared when Jews were killed to when Jews fought back against Nazis. It's quite despicable. I'm sorry.
Gabe, thank you for your call. There's a lot in there, Senator, some of which may be inaccurate. So I don't know, I can't fact check everything in real time, but do you know any of that to be inaccurate or accurate, including the original premise that he would somehow target synagogues if they were contributing to groups like Hatzalah, ambulance services, in a way that he could hurt the synagogues? I just don't want to give out information that's false, but I also don't want to shrink from information that's true.
Well, the caller is exactly the New York constituents that I've spoken to that are alarmed. They are alarmed by past public statements. They are alarmed by past positions, particularly references to global jihad. This is a very serious issue because people that glorify the slaughter of Jews create fear in our communities. The global intifada is a statement that means destroy Israel and kill all the Jews. So these are the kinds of things that if Mr. Mamdani is elected our mayor, we'll need to assure all New Yorkers that he will protect all Jews and protect houses of worship and protect funding for not-for-profits that meet the needs of these communities. Those are the things he'll have to do as our mayor.
He would certainly say that he has committed to protecting all Jews in New York as mayor of New York. Do you dispute? Do you doubt that?
Well, one of the issues I did talk to him yesterday was exactly this issue, and he has agreed to work with me on this and to protect all residents. So this is something I care deeply about, and so I will be an advocate on these issues. These are things that I think are important to New Yorkers, and I will work with him when he gets elected, if he gets elected, to make sure everyone is protected. I also, on the federal level, work to get resources for all our religious sites in the state and in the city. I lead the letter for funding for I lead the letter for the funding to protect synagogues and churches and temples and places of worship across our city and state. And these are things that he has assured me in my one conversation that he will protect everyone. But I understand why people are concerned because of past statements. And so this is just an issue that I will work with him on for sure.
I just feel compelled to say we can find no evidence that he has supported Hamas or has supported violent jihad, as that caller was asserting. Can you?
Again, Brian, I don't have all the data and information, and I've never sat down with Mr. Mamdani. So I've asked to have that meeting. I'm going to have that meeting. We will talk through all these things. He can tell me his views of the world, and I can learn them firsthand. I think the reference that I had read was global intifada specifically, which has very serious meanings that are violent and destructive. So
which he says, and I pressed him on this on the show on Monday, but which he says are not calls for violence because intifada is a much broader term involving all kinds of uprisings and resistance and things like that. So I just want to be clear about how at least he defines it. And maybe he needs to be more clear. I don't mean this. I don't mean that. He did say here that he didn't want to be the word police, even as the mayor of New York, if he's elected. But I do also want to be clear that he said he does not support violent intifada. Is that fair?
So Brian, I didn't hear your exchange with him, but if I was speaking to him directly, I would simply say that is not how the words are received. And it doesn't matter what meaning you have in your brain, it is not how the word is received. And when you use a word like intifada to many Jewish Americans and Jewish New Yorkers, that means you are permissive for violence against Jews. It is a serious word. It is a word that has deep meaning. It has been used for wars across time and violence and destruction and slaughter and murder against the Jews. It is a harmful, hurtful, inappropriate word for anyone who wants to represent a city as diverse as New York City with 8 million people. And I would be very specific in these words, and I would say you may not use them again if you expect to represent everyone ever again, because they are received as hateful and divisive and harmful. And that's it. So I appreciate that he told you he didn't mean that, and that's great. That's
and
a great
I think we
start.
also clarify, or he was clarifying that he never said globalize the intifada. He was asked in an interview if he would denounce the phrase globalize the intifada, and then that led to this kind of conversation, that you were just referring to. But that he was never out there saying globalize the intifada. He was asked about other people who used it. So just to be precise about what happened there. Yes.
Well, as a leader of a city as diverse as New York City with 8 million people, as the largest Jewish population in the country, he should denounce it. And that's it, period. And you can't celebrate it, you can't value it, you can't lift it up. And that is the challenge that Jewish New Yorkers have had, certainly since October 6th. It is October 7th, it is exactly what they have felt. It is why Jewish students in our universities have felt unsafe. It is why Jewish students have felt that their schools did not have their backs and cared about them or their learning, because the people doing these protests use words that have meanings that are far more violent and horrific than they may have intended. But when you hear things like intifada, when you hear things like jihad, when you hear from the river to the sea, it is received as slaughter the Jews and destroy Israel, period. It's how it's received. And if you talk to any group, you talk to our LGBTQ community, you talk to our Black community, you talk to our Hispanic community, there are words and there are imagery and there are things that are said that they will hear it and feel it as a dagger to their throat. And so if you want to be a leader, you have to recognize how these things are felt and received, and saying there should be no word police is irresponsible. Because as a leader, you have to protect everyone, period.
One more thing before you go.
You know, I didn't know that a straw man was running for mayor of New York City. That's interesting. I mean, he literally said and did nothing, and every bit of that she fabricated in her own head.
Play the rest of it.
Oh, it's only like 4 seconds or 3 seconds, but
okay.
For you as a member of,
yeah, that's it.
I mean, shout out to this dude. Like, seriously, I don't know who he is, but he did his job.
Yes.
Like, he did his job. He straight up was like, I don't know if that's true. You know, I mean, that is, you know, as a journalist, that's not always easy to call people out like that, but we have to.
Yes.
And, you know, first of all, yes, people do say from the river to the sea. And you know who does? Israelis.
Yeah.
They say it all the fucking time.
And it's in the founding documents of the Likud party.
Exactly. And the
What
reason Palestinian people say it is because it was their land, and meaning it has to be all free, not just an open air prison like it's been. They know damn right well that's what it is. And what is this like praising jihad? What the fuck are you even talking about? Who the fuck even talks about jihad? What?
Yes.
What are you talking about? I have organized and been to a fucking dozens of Palestine protests from DC to New York to Philly to Harrisburg to wherever the fuck. I don't see anyone yelling jihad. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Seriously, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then she did the politician thing. She said, I misspoke.
Oh, and she didn't even do it publicly.
Any fucking responsibility. They misspoke.
Yeah. I love that she privately apologized. And it's like, you need to publicly apologize because you publicly defamed this man in every way that you possibly could. I mean, my God.
Like, the, you know, it's funny. Democrats are out there posting pictures of his wife, right? And like, they're like, she doesn't look very Muslim because she doesn't have a hijab and stuff. And it's like, wait, hold on, Democrats. Like, really? You are so fucking racist. And I hate the word Islamophobic. They're not scared of Arabs and Muslims. They're hateful.
No, they hate them. Yeah.
I just call them like Islamicists or something, like racist Islamicists. I don't know, but it's not phobe. They don't have a phobia.
No, they got a problem though. They got a real problem.
They got real fucking problems.
I'm just amazed. I'm amazed to like you said, here I am being shocked by Democrats, but like even I feel like there's got to be limits. Like you can't just go whole cloth, lie, make up like a dozen things, none of which were ever said or done, and just be like, yeah, you're the media, you're going to launder this for me. You don't want Trump to win, do you? I mean, that's literally her energy she was pushing was, I'm going to just straight lie because you're not going to counter it.
But props to that guy.
We're actually doing his job.
Yeah, he wasn't, you know, he's like, and just so you know, we haven't found any of that information. You're not going to. This dude, the amount of hate he's getting, And
It's
okay, off topic, I digress, but you know, for 8 years we heard Bernie is like not a Democrat because he went, independent, and he's not even a Democrat. He's not even a Democrat. He's not even a Democrat. Independents spoil, the election, blah, 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 until fucking Cuomo loses to his ass. And now he's running independent.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I see. Now it's cool.
Yep.
Because they would rather him split the vote with Mondani and let a Republican win than have Mondani.
Yep.
It's just like they would have rather a Republican than Bernie.
Yep. Man, oh man, oh man. Well,
some crazy shit.
No doubt. Well, before we call it, I do want to touch on real quick this Supreme Court ruling because it's pretty massive. My God. So this was the core of my trauma this week and what I was trying to talk to my counselor about. Because I just don't think people are fully grasping like how bad this ruling is. By fully defanging the federal courts except for the Supreme Court. But I did pull up an article, if you'll throw it up for me. It just a few quotes from the dissenting justice, Sonia Sotomayor. I thought a few of the quotes from it were actually fairly notable. I'm just going to read a couple of them. Few constitutional questions can be answered by resort to the text of the Constitution alone, but this is one. The 14th Amendment guarantees birthright citizenship. Suppose an executive order barred women from receiving unemployment benefits or Black citizens from voting. Is the government irreparably harmed and entitled to emergency relief by a district court order universally enjoining such policies? The majority apparently would say yes. And then I had one other in here that was really good. See here. I think it was this one. The court endorses a radical proposition that the president is harmed irreparably whenever he cannot do something he wants to do, even if what he wants to do is break the law. And I thought that was pretty flawlessly put. But for folks, I should reiterate the situation. So the Supreme Court ruled that no lower courts have the power to now do an injunction and basically put a halt on a piece of legislation or an executive order. You could before, but you can't now. And the problem is Trump, he has filed literally hundreds of executive orders, many of them quite unconstitutional. And yet that's what he's having to argue in court over and over and over again is, well, how is this constitutional? Well, the thing is, because this shit is clear on its face, unconstitutional and illegal shit, the federal courts were able to be like, well, this is obviously a violation of the Constitution, so I'm going to block that. And a bunch of his various things were getting blocked, thankfully. Not all of them. In fact, not even enough of them, but some of them, the more egregious ones. This ruling has now basically denutted the frickin' judiciary because now the only court that can decide on whether what Trump is doing that he is now allowed to do unfettered is the Supreme Court. And that can take sometimes upwards of like multiple years to get to the Supreme Court. So what this means is not only because this whole thing seems to stem around this whole birthright citizenship thing, but it's like, not only are we now dealing with this idea that Trump is saying you can be an American citizen and I'll make you not an American citizen. Now, it doesn't matter that literally we can all pick up the Constitution and the amendments. We can read them with our own eyes. And what does it say? Right there in the 14th Amendment, it says, if you're born in America, you're an American citizen. Clear as day, has been adjudicated and re-adjudicated over and over and over again. And every time it was, yeah, it's right there in the Constitution. Well, now Trump can be like, I don't care. I say that that's not what it means. And he's saying that. He's saying this was only for Black slaves. Nobody else. It doesn't say that in the Constitution, but he says that. And now he gets to do whatever he wants denaturalize and remove citizenship from anyone. You could have been born here in the freaking like 1960s. You've been here 60 some years of your life, and you've always been an American. And he's saying he can now denaturalize you, and you have no home, by the way, because you weren't born anywhere else. And it's now up to the Supreme Court to eventually get to that and be like, oh yeah, right here in the Constitution says you can't do that. But we need to wait now a year or two of absolute horror show of him doing this to people.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, this is my trigger of triggers, man. Like, and I don't know if you follow Hassan Piker at all, but he made a really good point that nailed me. He said this scares him more than anything else that's been done so far, because he's like, I don't think that the Republicans would go and pull this lever unless they knew that they were the only ones who were going to pull it. He's like, you don't want this power in the hands of the Democrats to then use against you. So he goes, so it means one of two things. It means either they don't plan on ever giving up this seat to a Democrat, or if they do, they know that the Democratic Party is a controlled opposition party, and they won't use that power against them to reverse any of the things they did.
Right.
And I'm going to go ahead and go with the latter. That's where I'm at. But yeah, it's insane. Like we're either not going to get a chance to vote, or it's already doesn't matter because the Democratic Party is a part of the Republican Party. They work for the same.
I couldn't care less about voting. I really couldn't.
I know.
I just don't care.
I feel
don't
you.
care.
I feel you.
Don't give a fuck anymore. I don't. I don't. If you want to vote, go for it. I see no point. I see no point in voting.
So
but that's a whole other show. So yeah, it's been a minute. So we're gonna end here because it's been like over an hour and a half. And
well, I do want to pull up one last thing, because this was connected to that. So what I wanted to say is what's being what they're using now, this new power to do is they're already moving the goalposts. Okay, so here's Laura Loomer again. She posted this just like a day or so ago. Alligator lives matter. The good news is alligators are guaranteed at least 65 million meals if we get started now. Okay, so first I'd like to point out that that's literally talking about people being unalived. Okay, but this person made the point very well. They said there aren't 65 million immigrants in America, but there are 65 million Latinos. This was never about immigrants. It was always about white nationalism. And I just want to point out that Laura Loomer is one of the closest allies and confidants and advisors to the leader of the free world. And that her advice has literally seen the sacking of something like 8 different dudes because she told Trump they're not loyal. And now she's all talking about, hey, let's go ahead and serve up 65 million Latinos to the alligators.
Hmm?
So yeah, this is where this all leads, folks. And yeah, they're already calling for mass genocide of brown people. Already. Trump's not even had this power from the Supreme Court for a week, and they're already calling for mass genocide. So that's the point that I wanted to nail home. That was my point. Sorry, I know it's a downer point, but I thought it was important.
No, it is. I'm just like my see, my brain's not working. My saturation point after like an hour is just like.
I feel you. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to express where this is already headed this quick. So.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, my new book is out. Hold on. Let me take that down and pull this up. Yeah, let's see. Okay. My new book is out. Our friend Temujin The Wrongful Conviction of Temujin Kansu. Please read my book. It just came out 2 days ago. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and Kindle. Please read this. He has been in prison almost 40 years, and he's still there. His story needs to be read and needs to be heard. And this is fully authorized by him and his wife. These are many of his words in this book. And in almost 40 years of his imprisonment, nobody has ever written a book on his story. So this is really important. So please check it out. Thank you guys. And as always, thanks for watching. Please smash the like and subscribe. And thanks so much, you guys. Much love.
Peace. And we'll see you next time on that capitalist death parade.